Greetings everyone and welcome to my channel. Hope you like my new background here. It is live edge cedar done by my wonderful husband Paul, and I'll be adding things and changing up things as we go along, but I'm just really excited about finally having it done. So anyway, I hope y'all all enjoy it as well. I'm Lady Starfire, and today I'm here to bring you some more witchy tips. Okay, so today I have several things that I want to teach you about. I may break this into 2 videos. I'm not 100% sure yet, and just kind of have to wait and see what seems to work best and how long this one turns out with just the first part. And if I decide that I may need to break it into 2, and if so, they'll be consecutive videos, or should be anyway. So, all right. So today I'm going to talk to you about types of circles. All right. A lot of people think that there's only one way to do it, but there really are many different ways. And a lot of it can depend on your culture, where you're from, what your teachings are, stuff like that. But there's, 3 or 4 basic types of things, as far as the, types of circles, not having to do with, who you call on. So this is what I want to teach you about today. All right. So the first one is your ritual circle, which is what most people are used to, okay? Use an athame or a wand or a staff or something, and you cut your circle, then you cleanse it with your salt and water, and then with your incense, and then you call your quarters, however you call them, whatever guardians you call, whatever, but, then that's the next step. You then, some people evoke or invoke the god and the goddess, and then you have your ritual, you dismiss your quarters, and, dismiss your circle. This is the normal way that, most people do, especially Wiccan circles. But I mean, part of that is also what they do, in what's considered high magic, the Kabbalah, whatever, so however you do it is kind of up to you, but this is what is, most people consider the norm. All right. You're basically creating a sacred space. All right. And this type of ritual, a circle, actually gives you the most protection. All right. Because, you're casting a protective circle, you're calling in your quarters, your guardians, and stuff to create you a safe, sacred space to then do your magic. And, we usually set up a cone of power with it. And therefore that sends out the energy, because when you create your sacred space, you're still not just here on earth. You kind of, that cone of power goes into the next thing. So you're sending your energy out and through that, very pinpointed, direct. All right. So these circles contain and protect those that are in that circle. So that's something that's very important, especially if you are the one leading the circle and you have other people there. You're responsible for everyone within that circle, their safety and everything, and making sure that nothing bad gets in and all that. Okay. So, but that is your ritual circle. And like I said, this is what most of us do on, when we celebrate the new moon, the full moon, the Sabbats, or having any other type of magical working circle. All right. And those are great. I mean, I love them. I enjoy those types of circles. But it's not the only type of circle out there. Okay. So sometimes you don't have time to do all of that. You don't have space to do all of it. Maybe you're just doing it by yourself. But you need to do a circle. All right. You need to do some sort of magical workings, and you want to create a circle. The second type of circle is referred to as an energy circle. Okay. An energy circle, offers some protection depending on how you do it. But with it, you're not using any tools. You're not cutting a circle with your athame. You're not calling in quarters. You're not doing the cleansing stuff. It's strictly created with energy. All right. I do these, fairly often. All right. When I do a white tornado of protection, that is technically an energy circle. All right. There's different ways of doing them. You can sit in a spot, close your eyes, create this circle going around you, and just simply create this energy. Okay. You can even call in protection, if you like. You're just simply not using like an altar room or setting up your space. You're doing that right here, right now. Okay. And all of them work. All types work. It's what you feel comfortable with and what you can do. I mean, I was driving down the road one time. I was actually coming back from Dallas, my mother and me, and there were tornadoes that were hitting Jackson while we were there. Matter of fact, coming across Arkansas, there were tornadoes to our north, tornadoes to our south. They were in front of us, behind us, and it was pretty intense. And I was talking to my roommate on the phone at the time, and when she said the sky was red, the tornado warning signs were going off, and I'm like, you get to a safe place, call me when everything's safe. Well, as soon as we hung up, while I'm driving down the road, I am picturing myself putting a circle around my home. My mother, not knowing what I was doing, knew I was doing something, and she was over there doing her own little thing. And after a little bit, I hadn't heard anything, so I called, and my roommate was like going, I was like, everything okay? And she was like, yeah, it's really weird. It just went away. Sun's out. It's great. And and it was just across the highway from us. Okay. So, energy circles work. I wasn't even here, but I projected it here. All right. So, those things can happen, and it just depends on your practice and your focus. All right. All these things have to be practiced. Now, before I go into the next one, you need to make sure that you are proficient at making an energy circle. Okay. A circle that does not require, your tools and your altars and all that kind of thing. All right. If you don't do energy circles, you need to practice them. All right. Practice building them, feeling it, all of that. And because you have to be able to direct energy and know that you can direct energy. Granted, you have to direct energy with a ritual circle, but this one, you're not using anything else to help you. You're simply doing the energy yourself. All right. And it's really, really important that you practice this and be proficient at it before you try this next one, if you choose to. Okay. You may not ever choose to try it, but I've got notes on this one, and so that I can make sure that I don't miss anything in explaining it, because there are, I think it's 3 different stages, 3 or 4 of levels of difficulty, or being more and more complex. Okay, so don't try to jump into the most complex, especially if you're not proficient at these other 2 types of circles. All right, and especially the energy circle. All right, so this next one is called a compass round, or laying of the compass. Okay. It does not in any way create a protective circle. All right. So if you're needing protection right then, this is not the type of circle to do. All right. That's not what this one is for. This one is for doing work. Okay. This type of circle is opening you up to the 6 directions. Okay. And therefore, that's why there is no real protection. All right. Because you're putting yourself in this, go that way, crossroads, each direction. Okay. So we have our 4 directions this way, but we also have up and down. Okay. So when we're going in here and we build this, you're connecting yourself with, your earth, air, fire, water. You're also connecting to the above and below, and all the spirits connected to those. All right. So you need to know what you're doing. You need to be secure in what you're doing. All right. Before you ever try this. I mean, I'm serious, because you're leaving yourself wide open to things if you're not secure and comfortable in what you do. All right. When we lay the compass, we are actually focusing on the energies coming in, because we're inviting them in. We're not repelling anything. Like when we create a ritual circle, we're repelling all negative energies and only bringing in the positives and keeping that positive energy in here. Similar with an energy circle, we want to keep our good stuff in, because we've got a little bit of protection there, because we're just simply trying to do this. The laying on the compass, we are inviting all the spirits of all the directions in here with us. We're bringing everything into this specific area, sacred, separate from the mundane. Okay, which, granted, for me, when I do a ritual circle, I'm separating myself from the mundane there. Hence the reason for robes and things that kind of make you feel more witchy. Okay, the laying of the compass is considered a space between the worlds. Okay, so we're getting out of the mundane altogether. Okay, we're in the ritual circle and energy circle. We're still dealing with the mundane, but we're also kind of connecting to the other. With this one, we're getting rid of the mundane altogether, and we're getting this space up here. Okay, hope that makes sense to you. Like I said, it's a little complex, but I'm going to try to explain it in this to where, you can make this as simple or complex as you want. Like I said, there's different stages in here that I'm going to talk to you about, and you can kind of figure out, what you may want to try and what your level of practice is. Okay, this is not for beginners. Okay, please understand that. If you're a beginner and you've not really cast any circles at all, please don't try this one. Okay, practice your other ones first and then go to this. All right. Okay, so for a simple laying of the compass, we are simply going to walk diasil, clockwise, okay, around the edge of the compass or circle. Okay, it's called a compass because we're dealing with the directions, and you go around as many times as you feel like you need to. Okay, I would usually say a minimum of 3, but go around as many times as you need to. That we're, saying a chant of whatever chant you want to use that talks about whatever it is that you're doing, your purpose of being there, that you're creating, this space between the worlds. All right. You're trying to find, and create your connection that is between all the realms. All right. Because you're connecting all these realms when you do this. All right. It's a very intense thing to do. And once again, please, if you're a beginner, please don't do this. All right. So, after you go around, however many times you're going to go around, all right, with your chant and focusing, all right, when you're ready, you're going to either stand or sit in the center. Okay. And this is where the crossroads are of the 6 directions. All right. So you're in the center, facing whichever direction you choose. All right. But so you've got, directions coming through you here, above and below. All right. It's a good time to meditate, astral travel. You can read cards, receive messages, and just, commune with the spirits. In my last video, I believe it was, where I talked about servitors, it's a good place to communicate with them. Okay. Your deities, whoever, whatever it is you're wanting to communicate with in that space. Okay. Now, a little more complex. We're going to call this complex number 1. Okay. You can also cast your circle that you're building, okay, with what's called a stain. Okay, this is not a great version. It's the one I found. You really want this other side to be even with this one. I'll have a picture put up for you. But it should be shoulder height. As you can see, it's long. Okay. Um, and you use this, and you can decorate it. You can put, horns on it. You can hang, things from it, whatever you want to do. It's a type of staff, but this is referred to as a stang, stang. Okay. And it's something that is used to actually direct that energy as you're going around. All right. It represents the horn god, in this particular one. All right. Maybe it may not in all of them. In this particular complex number one. All right. It represents the horn god and an altar in nature. Okay. So you want things that kind of go along with all of that for you in decorating it possibly. To some, it's the world tree that's connecting the realms. Okay. All right. So a stang is a tool, all right, that's used in traditional witchcraft to represent the axis mundi, to honor the spirits of the land. Okay, that's the definition there. The word stang comes from Old Norse, and it means pole. Okay? It's usually made of a wood staff of shoulder height with a Y shape or horns on the top. Okay, so there you go. There's your definition part. I want to make sure I didn't mess that up. You can also use a blade if you want. Of course, not in public. You got to be careful about those out, parks or anything like that. Instead, you can use a besom. You can have, do wine and cakes, because it's customary to, consume this and do offerings. Okay. And you can even take a compass so you can make sure that you're facing the right direction, for what you're wanting to do. Okay. You're going to create, this energy space, just like an energy circle. You're just using a stang to do it. Okay. To actually go around with and pointing that that energy like you do an athame or something. Okay. All right. So once you've gone around the number of times that you feel that you need to, creating this space, you're then going to come to the center. You do not call the elements. Okay. This is where we're different in this from a ritual circle. We're not calling the elements. All right. You're going to actually go to them. You're going to walk the different realms, while you're there. All right. Opening the doors, the element directions match where you are sometimes. So where in a ritual circle, a lot of times we'll have altars of the different directions. And, for the West, we're going to have a bowl of water, we're going to have something representing fire and earth. And, we're going to have all these things. Well, for this, if you're out somewhere and, say you don't have a compass, or maybe you don't want to use it for this, you're out and there is a stream over here. Well, that stream might be in the north, but for this type of circle, that's going to be your west because it's water. That's where that element is going to come to you. Okay. So, these are a little, they don't fall under the same rules as other things. You can use your compass and do that, but you can also use what's out here, land-wise for your directions in this particular thing, because you're going to be using those elements. You're going to those elements. And it's a whole lot easier to go, that's water, instead of worrying about if it's west or not, because that element is going to be there. Okay. So, all right. So once you've gotten everything done and you're got your circle space, your realm, energy together, you then place this thing in the ground. Okay. Because now you're connecting to the above and the below, in the to the middle. You go into the center and you can put it into the ground. So now you've got your directions coming in, and this is now creating your above and below. It's the access point to the higher and lower planes. All right, it's a six-way crossroad, like I was talking about before. So, because now we have our elements coming through this way, we got, the above and the below coming through, and here you are. Okay, here you are connecting to all of these energies. All right, which is really amazing. Once again, please make sure that you know what you're doing and you know how to have yourself protected and that you're ready for this. Okay, kind of the video on the Akashic Records, not everybody's ready to go there. All right, so make sure that you have practiced a lot of things before doing this. All right, so now if you want to add some protection, all right, you can place some iron of some sort, or other protective items at the outer edge of your circle. Okay, that you have, the outer place that you have, created, just to help stop, anything from that you're not wanting in there, coming in. All right. Do whatever work it is that you went there to do. Okay. Whether you're meditating or you're astral traveling or you're connecting with your servitor or whatever it is that you went there to do. Okay. So now you're going to do your work, do your offering. Okay. Just like in a regular circle where we do wine and cakes or whatever it is that you're using. Okay. You partake and you give an offering. All right. You have not called anything into your space. Okay. If they are there, they're there because they chose to be. Okay. You didn't call them. So whatever came, it came because it chose to. So therefore you don't have to dismiss them. Okay. Technically you're in their space. Okay. So when you're done, simply say thank you and let them know that you're finished and that, you appreciate whatever they gave to you, energy wise, knowledge wise, whatever, or just coming to be with you. Okay. Because it's an honor if they choose to come be with you, and let them know that you are now done. Okay. With whatever you were doing. You want to remove the space by walking widdershins or counterclockwise around the compass with your stain. Okay. Because you got to bring yourself back to the mundane. All right. So you could think of it as, maybe a spiral stairway going up and now we're going to go back down it or something, or whatever kind of works for you. Because you've got to get yourself back here. So you want to either absorb that energy back that you put out, or you want to be sure to dissipate. It's kind of like doing a ritual, just a regular ritual circle out at a public place. We never leave that energy, even though we dismiss the circle. There's always a residual energy, so you always want to sweep it away, and so that nobody walks into that. Okay, so same thing with this. You want to be sure that as you're going around, with your stain, you can absorb it back through it, or you can, brush it. I would absorb it, and I would still probably kind of sweep the area, because I don't want somebody walking into any residue of my energy, okay, or whatever else came around. All right, so if you have questions about any of this, please leave me comments and ask questions. I'll be happy to try to help you out and explain a little better. While we're at it, if you hadn't already and you like anything about this or any of my other teachings, please click the like, subscribe if you hadn't, and don't forget the bell so you're notified every time I put up a video. Okay, don't forget to share. People out there need this, so help the algorithm of YouTube, because they don't help me or any other creator too much unless y'all do all these things and then they push it out there. Okay, so anyway, thank you. Thank you all for those that have already done all those things, and for those of you who haven't yet, please do all that for me. Okay. Also, if you'd like to become a member, there's information about that, or buying me a coffee, any of that stuff that you might want to do. It's all down in the description, or you can click the join button if you like. So check it out, do what you like. But anyway, all right. Back to all of this. Yeah, you thought we were done. We're not. Okay, so complex number 2. All right. The traditional compass is comprised of 3 rings, okay, created around a fixed central point. Each ring symbolizes a separate stage of life. Okay? You create the circles going from the outside in, right, as you move towards the center. Okay. This is supposed to signify passing through the stages into the outer world. So basically, where before we just went around and around and around, okay, creating the energy, you're going to keep moving in further. Okay. All right. So the first ring represents life and is made of salt. Okay. So you're going to, you can do it different ways. You can, literally pour salt. You can, you can do your salt and water, charge that if you like, and, do it that way. Your choice. All right. The second ring is death and rebirth and is traditionally made of willow and birch wood ashes. So this would mean needing to burn these woods so that you have the ashes to create that circle. Okay. The third ring represents the river we cross on the way to the other world and is made of water, wine, vinegar, and salt. So you're going to mix all these things together and literally create, pour this around. So, I'm sure the old times they actually did the salt on the outer one. That's up to you. And I guess it depends on how big you're making that circle and, whether it's safe to pour salt in the area that you're doing it, because remember, salt will kill grass and things like that. So inside the ring is the stain. The center of the compass is where the worlds connect and the gateway where power flows through. The four directions correspond with a different wind, element, and deity. You may hear these 4 points referred to as watchtowers or quarters. The associations with the different directions tend to differ from mainstream definitions, and I will try to remember to put this information on here for you in a little chart, because otherwise it gets just too confusing to try to put it all out here, and then you got to write it all down. So I'll pop it either on here for you or it'll be down in the description. Okay, so all right, and then same thing. Once you get done creating all of this, then it goes back to the number one that we did, and you do your work in there and get rid of it the same way. Okay. Once again, you're going to have all these things down. So I would suggest only doing that one in a place that is your own. Okay. Because you're going to be laying down things. And I would think it would be better if you have your own space, whether it's your backyard or, some special place that you can go where people aren't as likely to come through that, because once again, you're making this energy that you also have to do something with. Okay. Now, all right. Complex number 3 is called Hallowing the Compass. All right. Now, I have a whole ritual for this, and that's what I may put in a different video because this one's already getting a little bit long, I think. So I may make a separate one where I just simply go through the steps of the actual ritual. I haven't decided yet. We'll see when I get through with this part. All right. So, Hallowing the Compass, complex number 3. All right. The purpose of Hallowing the Compass is to set the space apart from our mundane reality and create a liminal space. Okay. All of these are variations of the same thing of laying the compass. They just get more complex each time. Okay. So that's why you'll hear a lot of the similar things on each one. The space becomes a sort of portal, okay? Portal, where you can experience spirits, deities, and other dimensional spaces. You may have heard of the term hedge witch, okay? My best friend and sister refers to herself as a hedge witch, and historically a hedge witch would use this portal or compass to send their astral body out into the other worlds to acquire knowledge and communicate with spirits in other realms. Okay? this journey of the astral self into other realms is called hedge riding. While traditionally a hallowing of the compass was used for this purpose of hedge riding, it can be used for a wide variety of rituals or spell work that you'd like to do yourself. Okay? All right, so as we go into the details of how to actually hallow the compass, keep in mind that it's your energy and intention is more important than the words spoken and the tools used. Okay? Once again, there's so many different types of rituals out there. I mean, if you know anything about high magic, there's are like really out there. They're just so involved. I've actually seen one of those done. It was actually done for a wedding, and it wasn't days long because it was a wedding, but they're very ritualistic. Okay, so but most people don't do those. There are those that are trained that do, but there's so many different types. Okay, and it's up to you on what you want to try to do. All right, so okay, I think I will put the ritual in a separate video. It'll probably be a shorter video, but I'm gonna stop this one, and I'll get the other one made, and that way it'll come out after this. It'll give you time to let all this soak in, and then prepare yourself if you actually want to try doing the other ritual. Okay, so all right, so I'm gonna do the ritual in a separate video, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And yes, I had to have a lot of notes because these things are really involved, and I haven't done all of the different phases, so that's why I wanted to make sure that I gave you the exact correct information on them. And so that's why I have notes, and I'll have my notes for the ritual too, so I don't miss anything. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget, click all the buttons if you didn't already. And I have some other cool things coming, and let me know what you think about my new background, because this is all wood, wonderful things on here, and I'm just so excited. I've waited for a long time to get it, and let me know in the comments what you think about it. And like I said, I'll be adding some more things to it on my little shelves and hanging up and things like that as time goes along. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day. We've been buried in snow for a week, fixing to be changing that this week to rain, but at least it'll wash all this away and warm up a little bit because it's just been cold. So I hope all of you are safe out there and happy and healthy, and I wish you all the best until the next one. Blessed be.